what is the difference between UX writing and regular UX?
Okay, that's a great question. So many people still are not familiar with the term UX writing even. So let's start with my background. I started as a graphic designer. After a decade or so, I moved into UX design. Also created one of the largest e-commerce stores that came out of our country.
Hey everyone, welcome to the AI Language Lab. Hi Yuval, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for showing up.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a very big pleasure of me being here on your podcast today.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, definitely happy to have you and looking forward to hear what you're going to tell us.
Great.
Yeah, so let's start at the beginning. So can you tell us a little bit what got you into UX writing, and actually what is the difference between UX writing and regular UX?
Okay, that's a great question. So many people still are not familiar with the term UX writing even. So let's start with my background. I started as a graphic designer like 20 years ago, hacked Photoshop for the first time in my life, turned into graphic designer when I was a teen. Then I had a lot of things going on in my life, but after a decade or so, I moved into UX design because I wanted to earn money. And there still is good money in UX design. UX design, product design, UX UI, doesn't matter how you call it. The work of creating a digital product and a digital experience. Great. So I did that for a while, creating digital websites and stores and products and fintech and so on. And music tech, like I've been all over. Also created one of the largest e-commerce stores that came out of our country. And in my essence, I'm a content creator, digital creator, and an entrepreneur. I really like to write, to create content. So I kind of documented my journey in UX design and got really interesting following. So I had some following in the UX space. And then I understood that there is a gap in many of the product teams that I'm involved with. And that gap is that I was expected as the designer to do the writing for the product. And that was a very big gap because the fact that you are really good with, I don't know, pixels doesn't mean that you are really good with words. And
Yeah.
when I figured out that there is a gap like that, I understood that we just need more writers in tech. That's also the name of my podcast, Writers in Tech. I interview writers. So then I created a very big community of writers in tech, people that are doing writing for digital products and digital experience, not technical writers, not copywriters, but people that are writing the screens of Slack and Google Maps and Fiverr, whatever, like the words basically. And the community grew, and I was a content creator for that community. So I interviewed people that are doing that just so I could create content for them. And we had tens of thousands of people. And basically, I monetized out of that community and created a bunch of courses for them and events and so on. And that's how the UX Writing Hub started, basically being a very big hub, community-driven, content-driven for writers in tech, and a very large force in the education space for UX writers. So that's like phase A, part A of my journey. And that's how I got into UX writing and the UX Writing Hub. Now, something interesting that happened to me while building this business, which is a fascinating business in my personal opinion, obviously, it's my baby, but I've been building it for the past 8 years. And because I'm a lazy person and I'm not a technical person, I had to find quick solutions, technological solutions that would help me to run this business smoothly online. It was all remote from day one, way before COVID, almost without employees because I didn't have the money to hire anyone. So I created a lot of automations using no-code tools such as Airtable, Zapier, Make.com, and Notion, like all of those, in order to build around me a very interesting business that scaled really well thanks to technology and also the humans that operating this technology. And that kind of led me very smoothly into the world of AI. So when ChatGPT was out, and even before that, I was very curious about how can I take AI and put it in all of the automations and the stuff that I'm building. And yeah, since then, I also became some kind of a content creator in the AI space. So when I'm invited to conferences and when people ask me to talk with them, often being asked about AI as well, because I've been building some cool stuff with AI as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a lot of topics here, and we have the UX, writing, which are two whole worlds by themselves, but here we want to focus more on the AI side. So how about you tell us, just for a start, a little bit more about the types of AI tools you're building now, just to bring us to the same level as where you are now professionally?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So since AI started, the whole role UX writer changed because now like people in a very easy way like were able to generate content. It created also more problems to the role, but it was easier to generate content. So many people like thought, okay, now we could generate content. We could lay off like all of the UX writers, and there was massive layoff in UX and UX
Yeah.
writing. But now like people understand that we still need people to communicate digital experiences in a different way. So now there is something that is a bit more systematic in the way we approach this role of the UX writer when we're building something new, when we're building a new AI tool, for example. Let me give you an example. Before AI, we created some kind of a content style guide, which was like some kind of a library of components, board components with rules that help people to understand how we write at this and that company. But now when we have AI, we could build some kind of a customized AI tool that will just get all of the rules of how we write the product, and every person in the organization could just ask like, hey, is that copy make sense for this and that scenario? And the AI would know how to answer it because we created some kind of a RAG, retrieval augmented generated application, that is based on that database. Is it perfect? No, it's far from being perfect, but I feel like taking all of these automations or taking AI and what is capabilities and apply it to our work is what would be expected from probably any person in tech starting yesterday, I guess. Every person in tech starting yesterday need to apply in a way AI to their work, whether if they're developers or writers or designers. So you asked about tools. I'm a very big fan of N8N, Cursor AI. Base 44 is a new one, also coming out from our country. And I segment this type of tools. So one tools are like the AI first tools, the coders, I'd say, the app builders. So Cursor, for example, is one of them. Base 44 is one of them. Claude is one of them. That's one. We have another type of tools, which I call the glue tools. Those tools just really easily connect different type of services to each other. That could be Zapier, which I hate, so I don't like to use Zapier. And Make.com, which I love. And N, which is similar to Make.com, only AI first. So it's a very cool tool that helps you to build AI agents. And if you combine all of this together, like building an app with Lovable or Cursor or something like that, and connecting the backend using this type of glue, and maybe having also some kind of a database using Airtable or even like a granular database, you can actually build almost products internally or externally, customer facing or for your team. So yeah, I hope it answers your question. It was like a lot of
Yeah.
content.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You're opening up a lot of channels here, and super
Yeah, man.
interesting topics. So I can tell you one thing that I experience when I use some of the tools you mentioned. So
Yeah.
I actually
Which
don't
one,
use
by
any
the
of
way?
so so it's there are two different issues. I actually don't use any of them. And maybe you can help me clarify. Maybe like I know that a lot of people do, so I always feel like maybe there is something I misunderstand about them. So one issue is that, and that's mostly about Cursor, they don't actually, at least in the free version, they don't give you, they have their own models, right? The code generation. I don't think
But it's
they,
based on LLMs that exist.
yeah,
So
but it's not just plain Claude, for example. It's a version of it that they optimized or they trained for code generation.
you just connect it to the API key of
You think
one
it's
of the
just
LLMs.
so from what I understood, it's not just plain Claude, it's something else. And to me, I prefer to use the plain model because usually it's the biggest and strongest one. So I prefer to just use native Claude. Like, what is Cursor actually giving me as a developer? It's giving me a layer on top of a code generating LLM that is able to access my files. My subjective experience was that it adds more problems than it solves, because when you give it an instruction, it's really hard to know exactly which files to access and where to write, what to write. So I actually had a much better experience just using the Claude API, telling it, okay, here are the files, tell me which files you need to edit and what to put in each of them. And I built my own automation. I want you to kind of show me the other side. Tell me, like, maybe it's just my experience or something.
So I'll say, first of all, I would probably argue that you're a technical person. So for you, stuff that comes easily, such as, oh, why shouldn't just take the API of Claude and write the script, and I use some kind of a coding language because I'm kind of highly familiar with this type of languages. That would make sense to you, probably. But for someone that an average Joe, like a real estate person, insurance person, business people, they now have the power to build their own tools with these type of programs. Obviously, they could also use Claude to write the code for them and build what you were saying. But it's just like a visual representation that take all of the plugs of, the APIs and connect them in a visual way that makes sense for non-technical people, which I get because I've built a business for the past 8 years solely on the fact that I'm not a technical person. And I tried to learn how to code and do this type of solutions that you're talking about, and I failed miserably. And I really tried like maybe 16 times to do it myself, going to YouTube and learn to code. And now, by the way, I code. I just code with AI. I just created the landing page for the UX Writing Hub, and the HTML and the CSS and all of the visuals and all of that. I did it with AI. It designed it for me.
Yeah.
So, and I used it in a creative way. So I took Elementor, which is a no-code builder, and I just created HTML chunks, and I asked Claude to develop them for me one by one, and then to create the CSS file, and I added the CSS file, and voila, I have a working landing page that already converts, thanks God, and it was all coded with AI, which is amazing, if you ask me. By the way, was it seamless? No, it wasn't seamless. It took me 3 days instead of like I was like in 2 hours. Oh, I got this, and then it took me 3 days. But with that being said, this specific process of creating the design and then develop the landing page is something that I literally paid 1 year ago, like $10,000, like a whole team to do the design, language, visuals, blah, 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 and then to build it with like PHP because that's WordPress. And the result, by the way, was horse shit, and I had to kind of like change it afterwards. So now I just did it by myself, thanks to AI. So if we have to step back real quick and talk about, you were a bit confused about the use cases of AI that I was mentioning, and it's the same with automation. You know that it exists, and then you're not quite sure in 100% how could you adjust and use it really. But you should start with the end. And the end, it's like, okay, what I'm trying to achieve right now, what type of process do I look to optimize? Is it the process of building a landing page? Perfect. Now let's break it down and build some kind of a tech spec of what tools do I need that are available to me and also to my knowledge, because I can't code, and then use this type of tools. And that works quite well. Lately, I've been involved with different projects where companies just reach out to me and they say, hey, would you like to run an AI hackathon with us? And then what we do in these type of hackathons is just like 2 days. We bring a few different teams, and I'm talking about like conglomerates that have like many companies, not just a single company, but like few companies come under the same place. 5 different teams. Each team works on a different company's use case. Then we bring like experts in these tools that try to make it like accessible for the people that, if I'm right in the middle and you're like highly technical person, I'm like mid technical person. So we have many people in the org, like HR and marketing, that are not really know about, the know-hows. So I come to these people and I make it accessible for them. And the idea, I think that in the next, as I said yesterday, I believe that every person in the organization should be AI first, like knowing this type of tools, building their own tools, building their own processes. Even if it's like designing some prompts that they use every day constantly because it helps them with their work, with writing emails, that would be also considered to be AI first. And I think many people are already working like that, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So that's my long answer to your short answer.
Yeah,
Short question.
no, definitely makes a lot of sense. Basically, for you, it's a matter of accessibility and getting everyone on the same level. So, introducing AI as a tool that everyone can talk about, everyone understands, like Microsoft.
I think as an
But
educator, by the way, I understand that everybody wouldn't be in the same level never. It's
yeah,
just being educated enough. It's just like you have
yeah,
in
it's a
the
baseline. It's a common baseline, like a shared language that everyone
exactly.
can use and talk about and communicate. And when you have that in an organization, it boosts efficiency by a lot.
Because if you don't have it, you're going to be like your people are going to keep you
To just
behind.
yeah. I mean, it's like it's definitely one of the biggest revolutions ever. And if not maybe even the biggest, it has to be it's something that everyone is going to have to learn or just not be part of the game. Totally. Yeah. So you are specializing in teaching people, if I understand correctly, like correct me if I'm wrong, but teaching people how to use these tools, even if they don't have a technical background, and how to create user-friendly apps for whatever they need.
Yes, I had a really rough time in the last 2 years because of many different reasons. One of them was the fact that, 7th of October in Israel, we had like this big war going on. And then I started this no code project in the morning of the war, which was helping people in the country, mapping people in real time. So that's something that the whole IDF was actually basing their whole database on what I've studied in the morning of the 7th of October. I actually have here a certificate that they gave me. That started like the craziest 2 3 months of my life back then in October 2023, where, I had to kind of, it's a cool story. Like I woke up in the morning, everything was a mess. And I thought to myself, how could I use my knowledge that I had in the past few years from building my business in order to help my country? Because I felt very hopeless and without control. I guess I wanted to get myself the feeling of control. And there I started doing many different things, and that one stuck because the demand was really big. Like people were actually like looking for people that were missing, and I helped them just to map that. So I had like a very big airtable of all of the people that were missing. Unfortunately, in a few days, it became an app that help people to recognize dead bodies, also to help, can't talk too much about it, but to help different branches of the country to locate where people are in real time, also to understand who was kidnapped. So it was a very interesting project in that way. And it got a lot of also coverage. So it was covered in like 5 different countries. And for me, it was like, I don't know, I'm not a person that was ever covered in media. That was new to me. And yeah, what I wanted to say is that once this project was over, I had a lot of self-reflection. Like before the war started, like the Bank of Gaza was the clients of the UX Writing Hub. I had many different clients and many people in our community that are very liberal. And I guess that after the war started, I felt like I was talking about UX writing and people were like, free Palestine. That was like what I got. And for me, I had to do some self-reflection about, okay, so I had this really interesting business and I still have this really interesting business, but what am I passionate about right now? And then I understood that I'm very passionate about content creation and I'm very passionate about AI and making it accessible to people. And that's what I started doing. So I started this TikTok account right now that I've been running, and I'm having the time of my life running it. It's really cool. It's getting like a lot of traction too lately, where I just have fun with AI. So there was this really viral video that I posted the other day where my friend asked me how to connect an API key of OpenAI to NN. So I used ChatGPT to write a song about it. And then I made the melody in Sono, which is another AI tool. So I have this TikTok video where like there is this song that help you connect your API keys to, I found it a bit
That's
funny.
very, very interesting because you know that song, like melodies and rhymes, for sure, that it's a very effective way to remember information. So I find it fascinating that you actually use it for that, because specifically remembering configurations is something that is very easy to forget. Like everyone who builds anything knows that one of the most annoying and error prone parts of building an app is kind of like connecting everything. And you always, it's like humans are not made to remember these things. So every time you have to remind yourself again, but like maybe rhymes is a good way
Yeah,
to.
I just felt like people appreciated the creativeness of this project. It was just like me thinking about it and doing it for like 30 minutes and then testing, and I just had fun, and I guess people felt that. I think you're right. Like, I think that's a very great way to learn. I remember when I started hacking Photoshop like 20 years ago, and probably there were like 5 Photoshop tutorials around the web where the internet was like way smaller, where you could actually scrape the end of the internet after like 2 searches. And I remember YouTube started. And I remember how easily it was for me to learn stuff from video compared to learn stuff from like a written tutorial, with my ADHD and stuff. And, now when we have AI, we can have AI to create a rhyme song for us in a minute. And if some people find that a useful learning technique, so there you have it. We found a really creative way to educate people. And that's the power of AI. You could do like this in scale right now. You don't need to go to like a studio and work on the lyrics and work on the words and the best way possible to have something in like a week. No, you could do it in literally 1 minute. And it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be like 80-90% baked. And for TikTok, which is, you just need so I guess it's good enough for that.
Yeah, so let's pivot a little bit into talking about some of the stories or some of the use cases you're encountering. So like what type of challenges or problems people come to you, and what are the main knowledge gaps you solve for them?
Okay, so first of all, I decided, like, after the project that I had that I just told you about, I decided to be like an AI consultant, like an integrator for AI solutions. And I visited like many different organizations and companies and enterprise. And it asked me like, how can we do this AI thing? And I must tell you that there were like many constant challenges to do that. People want to have AI, but they're not sure where to start. Just defining the project might be complicated sometimes because they really want to have fancy, shiny AI. They want to have that type of line of expense, but they're not even sure how to apply it. These type of companies are mostly did trainings, like CEO trainings, executive trainings, just like educating them about what are the possibilities even of these tools. Because without knowing what AI is all about, you're not going to be able to understand what type of solutions are you looking for. So to talking from a very small businesses to one of the biggest insurance companies of Israel, more challenges. So one big challenge is also security and data. Many people are concerned because they have data in their organization and they don't want to feed the AI with all of their data. It's not safe. It's actually quite dangerous. So overcoming that was quite of a challenge, and still many companies are facing challenges in this specific. Where I did find successful solutions were mostly these days about improving and automating processes with AI or without AI. Where can we take a solution that is very manual and automate it? Now, when you give a non-technical person just this type of knowledge of the fact that you have automation tool, you have N8N, you have make.com, you have connectivities to different agents, they already have this type of mindset of like, oh, I have this manual work, like, I don't know, automatically reply on Instagram inbox, whatever. And they already start thinking, okay, now how I can build solutions for that, how I can do that type of things. Giving people a rod rather than a fish and teaching them how to fish.
Yeah.
Okay, people, this is the buffet of opportunities of things that you could do. These are some ideas and use cases of how you could do them. Now, think creatively how to apply them. And if you need help, I will be your consultant. Like that worked the best for me, rather than, okay, I'll do it for you. And then it was always a mess because they know their business better than I am.
It's not actually directly, specifically about UX, right? You're showing them also how to use tools like Make and N8N and so forth.
Because in my personal agenda, and this is something I think like the world is failed yet to accept, but I feel like we're heading there. And this is also something that is quite common in my career. It's like me seeing like maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead and see how we could get there. When I started in UX, I noticed like that there are a lot of gaps in the way that we design digital products. So I talked about design systems and UX writing and so on. Now I
Yeah.
feel like that because we have AI, we really need to redesign the way we create digital experiences.
Yeah.
So I feel like these type of tools are definitely relevant to UX people as well. So I educate UX people about this tool, but I figured out that it's relevant for everybody, not just for UX people. So because at the end of the day, it's all about creating digital experience. And some UX people are just into moving pixels around and not really thinking about the experience as a whole. And some people don't know nothing about design, but they're quite great when it comes to thinking about what would be a good experience. So I think I'm just talking to these type of people now, people that kind
Yeah.
of get it and understand that, okay, the world is heading into a place where AI is really going to help us to build whatever we want to build. It's going to design it, it's going to code it, it's going to write it. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. So we need to be like the magicians or the creators that tell the AI exactly based on our standards. You're a perfectionist, right? So you have high standards. So you could use those standards to let the AI, hopefully, the AI would meet with your standards and it would create something crazy. It would create something big, something good, something positive for society. So while I used to talk mostly to UX folks, now I just talk to people that want to listen to the fact that AI is big and just are ready to learn from it, because I'm all about educating people about what AI can do today when it comes to building products and building experiences.
I mean, makes a lot of sense. And I guess for our last part, what I would really like to hear more about is some specific examples of like what type of workflows or business processes you think AI is most useful right now for, let's say, let's talk about, like, you can answer for any size of business you want, like whatever you have more experience with, but like where do you think it can solve the most problem with the least amount of effort?
So I think that when it comes to research and data analysis,
Yeah.
it's quite great. And I think that research is relevant for every profession almost, or every knowledge profession. So if you're a writer or designer or developer, you have a massive component of research that you need to do in order to be very good at what you do. You can write in silo without research, but it will be bad. Develop whatever you want to build, but at the end of the day, you need to have some R&D in place in order to make it good. You can actually go through the whole internet and scrape it really quickly, and every discussion, it will just summarize it to you, and you could like compare it to other stuff, and you can really, really quickly. So research and data analysis as well, getting huge chunks of data and learning from them as fast as possible. One more thing is the generative part. So content creation. It could help content creators, digital creators to just do the work faster and better. You could build some AI systems in place that will learn how you like to create content. And it will really help you to create this type of contents, whether if it's like LinkedIn posts or even like social media stuff from Riverside, which is the app that we're using right now to record this podcast. They have AI features that clip videos for you for social media, and that's AI for content creation. And songs for content creation, videos, you have a lot of AI video tools. So content creation is also a big one. So I said
Yeah.
research, data analysis, content creation. And I think also prototyping is a good one. So I don't say that AI can do really well a finalized product, but for us designers, it's really difficult for us sometimes to present our ideas. And I think it's really easy right now to just tell AI about our idea, what is the type of solutions that we're looking for, and also brainstorm about this type of solution. And then have some kind of a prototype in place that it will code for us. So it would be like almost close to the finalized product, and you could present it and then potentially build it with developers in shorter amount of time. So that's another one. Yeah, and when I said data analysis, I mean also for HR, for example, they are looking for 200 potential future employees right now, candidates, right? So they could scan it faster using AI, using like different keywords and so on. They don't have to go through it one by one. Marketing people can do benchmark analysis. UX people could do also benchmark. Like let's say that they are designing an onboarding flow for a fintech product that is for a bank. So they could research it through AI and see like what this bank did and that bank did and so on.
Definitely agree with you about all of these. And it's important to highlight something. I mean, let me know what you think about it. But I hear a lot of people talk about how AI tools and specifically agents, CPM, I think they call it now.
MCP.
Yeah, whatever that acronym is. Yeah, so I hear a lot about it recently and how it automates business processes. But I feel like the stuff you mentioned is actually has a lot more potential right now, because also another thing you mentioned is that AI is great for prototyping. It's not so great for giving a finalized product, and it's not good. You still need human oversight. So for that reason, I mean, let me know what you think, but I think that this trend of using agents for business processes, I still haven't seen a case where it actually is. I mean, I'm sure there are cases where it saves time, but I feel like it might be better to focus on automating the drafting of content or drafting of decisions instead of letting AI manage a full workflow. Yeah.
So agents also could make sense, but you really need to design it well. And now it's the time I'm saying design is important. That's the most important part. People say design is dead. No, design is not dead. It's just our role changed, and we need to redesign the way we design things. And if the new design is like how people interact with salespeople, let's design something for that using a tool like any.
Definitely makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna look more into this use case, because that's something I think can save a lot of money to any business. Yeah.
I've built it. So if you want,
I
if you
mean,
have
yeah,
clients for that,
definitely.
let's make money.
Please send me an example so I can take a look, because I really
I'm
want to
going to
see how
upload a
it
TikTok
works.
video about it.
Okay.
So we'll see
So
it.
please let me know when you upload. Send me the link to the
Sounds
video.
perfect. All right.
Okay. Any last concluding thoughts, ideas before we wrap it up?
What is your take about the future of society and AI? Do you think like, are you having like negative or positive predictions about this type of technology?
I think AI is already smarter than most people in most things. I really think that it will help a lot in everything. I mean, there are doomsday scenarios, but I don't see any reason to think that. I
If
still
it
haven't
will be
seen
in the wrong
anything.
hands, I guess.
I mean, it will, like any technology, the wrong people have
Exactly.
access to it. But
That's what I say.
I mean, the bad people have guns, and it's not good, but still, the world is still getting better. I don't know. Actually, it's hard to tell, but
Something to think about.
yeah, something to think about.
Awesome. So it was great to be here.